Hey guys, hope you're doing great. I wanted to do a quick unboxing and a quick review of the new Godox SL100BI. I recently purchased two of these. I'm into photography and filmmaking, and I came across these and I love that they offer both the tungsten and daylight. They offer great lux power. The price is pretty competitive. I'm not a professional by any means when it comes to lighting, but we all know Godox is a pretty reputable brand, and so yeah, we'll go through the specs. We'll do a quick review of how loud the fan noise is, how bright the light is, both on daylight and tungsten. We'll go over some of the pros, in my opinion, some of the cons, and and we'll also look at the effects that it comes with. And yeah, so we'll do a quick semi unboxing, and I guess we'll start with that. This is the box that it comes with. I purchased two, the other one's over there, but this is what comes inside the box. It comes pretty sturdy. You get a nice foam that covers it and everything, but I already threw that away. But you have the some kind of like cleaning cloth. You get a manual. You get a super long cable, which I love. I don't know how long it is, but it's definitely very, very, very long, which I very much appreciate getting. You get the, hold on. Of course, you get the light itself. With the lights, you get a protective lid, which is very nice and helpful when you're traveling. And you get the reflector, and that's it. That's everything that you get. To remove the protective, you basically hold down and you move or you slide. This is the light itself. um, Let me put this back. As you can see in the back, you have two dials and four buttons, and of course the plug for the electric outlets, on and off. You get, let me check. I have my notes right here. You get 32 wireless channels in 16 groups. The price is $229 for the BI version. The daylight only version costs $179. The color temperature for the BI ranges from 2800 up to 6500. You get 11 special effects. That's one of the differences between this one and the daylight only version. The daylight only version comes with only 8 effects. The 3 extra effects that you get in this one is candlelight, fire, and fireworks. I've had a chance to test the daylight and in the fire, and I was just blown away. Like, even though I was the one turning on the lights, I gotta say, like, I looked at at the end result, and it looked super realistic, and I was very pleased with that. Let's see what else. It has a power consumption of 100 watts. Again, the lux is of 32,100. You have here, oh, I'm sorry, over here you have a space for the umbrella if you were to choose to put one in. Um, it has a 100 to 240 VAC power supply. That's one of the big cons with this model, is that it doesn't have a spot for a battery. So that if you're looking to do some outdoor shooting where there is no access to power supply, unfortunately you will not be able to use this model. But the way that I see it is that, for me at least, I'm primarily into making short films and commercials, and 99% of the situations I'm always close to a power outlet. But again, that's something you have to see what's convenient for your situation. It has a Bowens mount. It has a very high CRI of 96 and a TLCI of 97. Again, I'm not a pro, but TLCI is primarily focused on television, and 97 is pretty good. I was very happy with that. It has 3 control options. The first one's, of course, through the back. The second one is through an app that you can download to your phone, and the third one is through a optional remote control that you can buy. It does not come included. Um, it weighs 3.5 pounds or 1.6 kilograms. It has a dimming variable from 0 to 100%. I saw how powerful it was at 1%. It wasn't completely dark, but it was definitely ultra low, which is a nice feature, because when I was doing research to try to find the one that would be most suitable for my needs, I came across some models where even at a very low setting, the power was still pretty powerful. So, it kind of was limiting. So I like that these give you a pretty broad range of how you can use these lights, which is 2 thumbs up. And last but not least, it has a Bluetooth range of 98 feet or approximately 30 meters. I don't own the Amaran 100X, but it's another very popular light that I would recommend that you check out. Some of the differences between that model and this one is that while this one costs 229, that one costs 249. While this one has a CRI of 96, that one has a CRI of 95. This one has a TLCI of 97. That model has a TLCI of 96. It has 8 effects. This one has 11. That model has a lux of 34,300, while this one has a lux of 32,100. That model has a optional battery plate. This one does not. And they both have the same power consumption. So they're roughly the same. This one's slightly better when it comes to color rendition, while that one does give you the battery option, and it appears to be a little bit stronger. Yeah, so So now let's move on to see how it performs with the lights on. I'm gonna try to do 3 settings. I'm gonna do one with the ISO at 100, one with the ISO at 400, and one at 800. The reason being that I shoot in ProRes. I'm not doing that right now. Right now I'm shooting in just 1080p HD because I'm traveling right now and I don't have access to my computer, so I'm gonna be editing this on my cell phone. But I do know that a lot of us filmmakers are shooting in ProRes and log, and a lot of times you have to by obligation shoot in the minimum ISO of like 400 or 500 or etc. So I wanted to give you an idea of how bright the lights are in these 3 different settings. So let's move on to that. Hey guys, so now we are going to do an overview on how powerful this light is. The light is currently off. My camera settings are ISO of 100, f-stop 4, shutter speed 50. So it's a pretty standard 24 frames per second with a 50 shutter speed, f4, ISO 100, and the light is currently off. So I'm going to turn it on. So now it is on. Okay, so now it is currently on, and it is at 100%, and it has a Kelvin of 5600. Now we're gonna see what it looks like at 2800. That's it at 2800. Please mind that I am using a preset white balance. It is not auto, so please excuse if the color seem a bit off. So yeah, that's at 100%, a Kelvin of 2800. Now I'm gonna bring it down the intensity to 50%. That's it at 50%. Again, Kelvin of 2800. Now I'm going to change the Kelvin to 5600. That's Kelvin 5600, intensity 50%. Now I'm going to bring it down to 1%. As I change the numbers, they change by 1%, by the way, which gives you a lot of flexibility. So that's it at 1%. Again, this is ISO 100. It's somewhat dark. It's gloomy outside. To the human eye, it's pretty. I mean, I can clearly see what it's illuminating, so I would say it's pretty bright. And to conclude, I'm going to change the color temperature to 2800. Okay, and that's color temperature 2800. Now I'm going to bring the ISO up to ISO 400. So this is ISO 400. Again, this is 1% intensity. Now we're entering the territory of how bright the camera would read when we're shooting in ProRes or log and so forth. Anyhow, this is 1%. I'm going to bring it up to 50%. That's 50%, and we are at a 2800 Kelvin. I'm gonna bring it up to 6500, or sorry, 5600. That's 5600, intensity, power of 50%. Now I'm gonna bring it up to 100%. That's 100%, 5600 of Kelvin, and I'm going to bring it down to 2800. That's 2800. Lastly, I'm going to bring up the ISO to 800, which I know some cameras will use 800 when shooting in log, ProRes, and so forth. So that's 100% intensity, Kelvin of 2800. I'm going to change it to 5600. That's 5600 Kelvin. That's at 100%. No reflector on, by the way. Everything that we have seen so far has no reflector on. Now I'm going to bring the intensity down to 50%. That's 50%. 5600 Kelvin. I'm going to change the color temperature down to 2800. That's 2800. Lastly, I'm going to bring the intensity down to 1%. That's 1%, color temperature of 2800, ISO of 800, again f4. And lastly, I'm going to bring the temperature up to 5600. And that's it. That's how bright it is at 5600 with a 1% intensity. Now we're going to move on to the effects. I'm going to bring the power back to 100%. Actually, before I do so, I'm going to install the reflector, which to my understanding makes the light more intense. So it is now installed. As you can see, it's much more concentrated. That's at 100%. That's at 50%. And this is at 1%. ISO 800 f4. So now to conclude, I am going to we are going to do a review of the effects. No reflector on. Intensity is 100% now. And this is the first effect. This first effect is called FX1 Lighting 1. This is FX2 Lighting 2. And I'm very sorry if I didn't warn before, but some of these effects might cause problems for people that suffer of certain visual situations like epilepsy, I believe. So please be warned. This is FX3 Lighting 3. 5600 Kelvin, 100% intensity. This is FX4 Flash. This is FX5 Conference. This is FX6 Paparazzi. This is FX7 television. This is FX8 broken bulb. The following three effects are only available on this SL100BI model. They are not available on the daylight only version. This is FX9 candle. I really like this effect, and one thing that I like is even though we were at a temperature of 5600, it automatically changed to tungsten in literally a quarter of a second. So that's very, very cool. This is FX10 fire. This is one of my favorites. I think with adjusting the intensity, this one looks super realistic, which I love. And last but not least, this is FX11 fireworks. As you can see, the temperature changed automatically as well, and it's great. I want to do a fan test so you can see how loud the fan is. So as you can see right here, the microphone is right over the microphone. The air conditioner is on. I will stay quiet for 10 seconds so you can hear for yourself how loud it is. Starting now. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that this was helpful. Any questions, please feel free to ask. My only, overall, I would say I'm very, very pleased with this purchase. It's obviously not the most powerful light out there, but considering the budget, I think it's a superb item. I'm very pleased. I purchased two, which I think will be more than enough for my filmmaking needs at the moment. My only tip for you is to consider investing in somewhat sturdier tripods. I recently purchased two that state to have a weight capacity of 17 pounds, which is more than enough for these lights when you also include the diffuser. But yeah, you know, consider buying some sturdy tripods. I will also include links for the ones that I purchased, which also has very good reviews. And yeah, guys, I hope you take care, happy filmmaking, and all the best.